and supplies if we want to blow this place sky high. I'll blow you sky high. I'm so keen. I've been waiting for this for like a good while. You step out of the worn-out house, the door creaking behind you as it swings shut. The weight of your gear drags at your body, but it's not just the equipment, it's the years. You've been preparing for this night longer than you care to admit. Every step feels heavy, but you can't stop, not now. Your gaze lingers on the windows. Inside, the shadows of your old life remain. A life that feels like a ghost now. Photographs on the walls, dust-covered remnants of forgotten hobbies. There was a time when you had dreams, other dreams, but they've long since crumbled, replaced by a singular, consuming purpose. Hunting. You hear it. Birds flapping in the hurried ascent. You know what that means. Sunset is close. It's time. It feels angsty. The bonfire pierces the encroaching darkness, just like how Leon Kennedy is gonna pierce me later on. A lone beacon amidst the towering trees. You finish threading the barbed wire from tree to tree, building a harsh perimeter around the clearing. A trap with no escape. Your gaze drifts towards the horizon as the sun sinks lower, disappearing behind the trees, casting long shadows that stretch like dark fingers clawing at the ground. You need to be fast. They'll come soon. Put tripwires outside the clearing as well. You extend the explosives beyond the clearing, placing tripwires along the outer perimeter. If any of them manage to slip past the first line of defense, these will catch them. Tonight, there's no escape. The forest deepens into shadow as you finish setting the tripwires. You nod, satisfied, but there's one last step. Pulling out a knife, you make a swift cut across your palm, letting your blood drip into the soil. It's dark, almost black in the fading light, and the ground drinks it up, vanishing as quickly as it falls. You wrap the wound with a strip of cloth, tightening it until the pain is just a dull throb. You don't usually do this. They're already drawn to the living, but today is different. You need all of them to come. Hey, yo, what? I need all of them to what now? You've tried tracking them to their lairs before, but the tunnels are too winding, too deep, too impossible to navigate. So instead you draw them out, just like they lure humans, using their scent to pull people to their deaths. It's a brutal contest of hunters, and you intend to be the last one standing. Sliding the gas mask over your face, the rubber cool and constricting against your skin, you settle behind a tree. A sharp pang of isolation digs into you. You wish you didn't have to do this alone, but the remaining townsfolk have changed. Consumed by whatever the creatures emit, they become something else, something hollow. You need to put a stop to this before they sacrifice someone else. The last rays of sunlight disappear, leaving a dense, suffocating silence. It's as if the forest itself is holding its breath, aware of what's coming. Your hands tremble slightly as you grip the flamethrower. It's metal, cold, despite the sweat on your palms. As soon as the creatures step into the clearing, the explosives will rip through the first wave, and the barbed wire will hold the rest in place. Then more will come. You pick them off, wave by wave, until nothing's left but ash. After all these years of hunting, it all comes down to this. Tonight, either you kill them all, or they finally take you. This is very intense. Leon's point of view. Hey, oh my god. Oh, look at this man. Oh wow. Oh, he's so thick. Oh, well, his forearms are so schmeaty. Oh. Leon drives into the city. The street's dead and abandoned. Another ghost town, courtesy of Umbrella. Boarded windows, doors nailed shut like they're trying to keep something out. Or in. He wonders how many more there are. He thought that after Umbrella's downfall, they had dealt with all of them, but every now and then another one pops up. He feels it, a prickle on the back of his neck. His eyes flick to a cracked window as he passes, but there's nothing there. Just shadows, shifting with the last light of day. I hate it when the neighbors are this quiet. The sun sinks lower, bleeding orange and red across the sky. He sighs, tapping his fingers on the handlebars. He wanted to get here earlier, but the mission briefing dragged on, and the local cops weren't exactly helpful. When he asked if they'd seen anything strange, they'd all given him the blank stare. Nope, nothing, sir. He's not sure if they're lying, clueless, or just terrified. His GPS flashes, guiding him towards the lab on the outskirts. It's nestled in the forest up on the hill. Easy enough, right? Just find the missing team, check the lab, and get out. Simple. Except, it never is. Leon kills the engine and swings off the bike, the silence wrapping around him. The air feels wrong. Too still. The kind of stillness that gets under your skin. Okay, Leon, just another spooky forest. What could go wrong? Everything? He moves on foot, the ground soft underneath his boots, dead leaves muffling his steps. His hand hovers near his gun. The path is narrow, overgrown, and the shadows stretch out in the long fading light. There he sees it, a flickering light through the trees. Leon stops, narrowing his eyes. Someone's here. Maybe it's the missing team, or something else. He steps off the path, crouching low behind a tree for cover, watching the bonfire pulse in the dark. Whoever's camping out here has terrible taste in ambience, and a faint smell hits him. Sweet, cloying, almost floral. I'm sorry, that's just me and my Omega scent. He grips his gun tighter, muscles tensing as his instincts kick in. This isn't the usual rotting stench of the BOWs. This is different. Wrong. Whatever's ahead, it feels like it's calling to him. Yeah, see? It makes sense. Because Leon Kennedy is an alpha. The last light of the sunlight slips behind the trees. Darkness closes in and the light flickers again, casting eerie shadows that seem to reach for him. He moves forward. Slow and steady. His senses on high alert. He's done this before, 4 times and he cared to remember. Whatever's waiting in the dark, it's not gonna catch him off guard. Leon's head is getting foggy. His senses dull. He can see the fire now, a huge bonfire lighting up the dark. Spotting an opening, he steps forward, but something brushes against his chest. A wire. Why is he blushing when something brushes against his chest? Hey, yo! The faint beeping reaches him a second too late. Guess I really walked into that one. Oh, god damn it! The tripwire triggers, a deafening blast tearing through the air. You are dead. What? Oh my god! So I can't put tripwire on the outside perimeter as well? Oh, god damn it. Alright. Alright, put tripwires only inside the clearing. Alright, at least Leon has made it here now. You listen. Breath fogging the inside of your gas mask. The forest feels suffocating, every shadow pressing in, thick with tension. You think how Leon Kennedy is thick as well? A sharp, creaking noise breaks the silence. The sound of chitinous legs scraping over dry bark. The familiar clicks and snaps you come to associate with the creatures. They're here. Your heart pounds. As you steady your breath, the filtered air dry and stale against your lips. Fingers tightening around the flamethrower. You prepare to rise from your hiding spot, every muscle coiled. But then, movement catches your eye. A figure slipping through the clearing. A man. You freeze, watching as he steps closer to your traps. Wait, is he? He's disabling your tripwires. Hey! Your pulse races, heart hammering in your ears. Without thinking, you sprint from your spot, weaving through the traps you've committed to memory. You! Stop! He's so hot though. Your voice comes out muffled, distorted by the mask, but he holds, turning to face you. For a split second, you're taken aback. He's not what you expected. Sharp features, piercing eyes, striking in a way that seems out of place here. Not the kind of person you'd expect to stumble into a nightmare like this. And now is the time to ask the age-old traditional question, Leon Kennedy, what size bra do you wear? Your gaze flicks to his hand, hovering near his gun, posture tense and controlled. Definitely not a civilian. These traps are mine. I'd appreciate it if you didn't mess with them. He glances around the scattered wires, looking almost amused. Oh, my bad. You! How many did you disable already? He tilts his head, thinking for a moment. A few. You curse under your breath, gripping the flamethrower tighter. Just your luck, a clueless outsider, ruining the day you waited years for. Why do you need so many explosives? I'm hunting. His eyes shift to the flamethrower in your hands, then to the barbed wire strung between trees. You have a rather unconventional way of hunting. You take a steadying breath. No time for this. You're not from this town, are you? You really should leave. Now. Your gaze drifts to the tree line. Will you sense movement? The scent is starting to seep in. That sickly sweet floral odor that the creatures emit. He's not wearing a mask. Already you see a slight daze in his eyes. He won't last long if they get too close. Is this a sex pollen plot? The man shakes his head, taking a step closer. Not an option. I got to get to the lab, and this is the only way through. You fidget with the flamethrower, torn between curiosity and frustration. Whoever he is, he needs to leave. You have no idea what's out there. Turn around, wait until morning. Whatever you're looking for at the lab, it's already been ransacked. But do whatever you want, just not right now. A familiar sound echoes through the forest. The same clicking, the same sickening creak. They're getting closer. He hears it too. He stands shifting, eyes narrowing. What exactly are you hunting? Before you can respond, yellow eyes blink to life at the edge of the woods. Dozens of them, gleaming like fireflies in the dark, shifting as they lock onto you. There are more than you expected, likely drawn by his scent as well. You can't fight them all without the explosives. Run! You don't wait for his response. Explosions erupt, the ground shaking underfoot, but the creatures charge through the smoke faster than you anticipated. You dash forward, dodging traps, weaving through the maze of wires and explosives. Gunshots ring out behind you. You glance back, catching sight of him, firing at the creatures as he runs, somehow keeping pace. Save your bullets! It won't kill them! A sharp crack sounds, and suddenly warm air seeps into the mask. A piece of debris must have punctured it. You're exposed now. No spare within reach, you can only keep running. Barreling through the underbrush, you fire the flamethrower behind you, a wave of fire scorching the air. The creatures shriek and stumble back but keep coming. You see him aim, shooting one of the explosives rigged to a nearby tree. The explosion rocks the clearing, and smoke blankets everything. The forest erupting into chaos. You run until you're far away, gasping as you tear off the broken mask. The cool night air fills your lungs, but it feels like a failure. Everything you built is gone. The traps, the explosives. All of it, wasted. The man catches up, glancing back at the smoke and fire flickering in the distance. His gun is still in his hand, and he looks unfazed. What the hell, man, Leon? Why did you dismantle my trap? Okay, I'm gonna be nice. It's your fault. You should have kept going. Stuck with the plan and ignored the outsider. Your fury fades, giving way to a hollow sense of defeat. I prepared for this day for a long time. I was gonna kill all of them. There's no way you could have taken them all down on your own. You shake your head, chuckling low as tears prickle at your eyes. You have no energy left to argue. Right, I should have known. I've already failed so many people. What's one more mistake? Look, I didn't mean to mess things up. Leave, outsider. Before you mess things up even further, it's not safe here. He narrows his eyes, looking at you with a calm that only makes your frustration flare hotter. Not for me. For you. You are gonna get yourself killed if you keep this up. Excuse me? You were the one who almost got yourself killed back there. I'm trained for this. I can handle it. You don't know these things like I do. They lure you with their scent. You wanna get to the lab now? Go ahead. But you'll end up like everyone else who's tried. Dead. He pauses, and for the first time you see his expression soften slightly as he studies you. Did you see a team come through here? A lot of people come through here. They go to the lab, they get what they want, and they leave us to our fate. Or they go, and they never come back. Whoever you're looking for, they're probably dead. Or worse. The man looks back towards the forest, his expression turning somber, thoughtful. I need to go to the lab and figure out what happened to them, not leaving until I do. You shake your head, unsurprised. Of course, they're all the same. Good luck. You'll need it. Without waiting for a response, you turn and march away, ignoring the ache in your chest. You'll have to start all over again. Rebuild, rearm. Your hand finds a pendant resting against your chest. You grip it tightly, letting the familiar shape press into your skin. I'm sorry. Ooh, wow, hang on. This background's really detailed. You storm back to the house, slamming the door behind you. The gear drops from your hands, but you barely notice. All you can think about is him, the arrogant outsider with his stoic face and his big boobies. And his prominent bulge. You grit your teeth. He's going to get himself killed, you know it. He doesn't even have a mask. The second he gets close to the lab, he's as good as dead. You told him to leave, warned him what was out there. If he dies, that's on him. You owe him nothing. He ruined your plan, your final chance at saving the rest of this town. But the thought of him stumbling into the lab, clueless, gnaws at you. Why the hell do you care? You shouldn't. You don't. I mean, I absolutely do. Despite the hunter's aggression, Leon decides to heed her warning. He waits until early morning before heading to the lab, her sharp words still lingering in his mind. He can't shake the thought that she left too abruptly without giving him a real chance to help. He could have used more intel, and maybe kept an eye on her too. Yeah, I bet you like that, wouldn't you? The last thing he wants is to watch another life get swallowed by Umbrella's mess. They've taken too much already. He shakes his head, recalling the fierce determination in her eyes, the way she seems set on wiping out those creatures at any cost. There's no doubt in his mind that BOWs are involved here. He's seen enough of Umbrella's twisted work to recognize the signs. It's almost impressive in a grim way that she's held her ground for so long. The lab looms ahead, abandoned and half crumbled. He pushes through the entrance. The hunter hadn't been lying. The place had been thoroughly ransacked, papers scattered, equipment smashed. Whatever was here is long gone. Perfect. More loose ends. Umbrella had so many labs scattered around the globe, it had been nearly impossible to track them all down. Some, like this one, escaped the government's eye, but not the mercenaries. He looks around wondering what they stole this time, and what it might lead to. Another outbreak. Another bioweapon. It's always something. As soon as he finds out what this new threat is, the better. Maybe the rest of the town and that hunter can still be saved. He pauses, his mind drifting back to Spain, the village, the people. So many lives destroyed, so many people who never had a chance. He clenches his fist, wishing again that he could stop it all for good. But nothing is ever that simple. He's just one man, fighting an endless war. Still, he'll do what he can like he always does. He pulls himself back to the present, focusing on the task. After rummaging through a few cabinets, he finds a torn notebook, its pages smudged with age and grime. It seems like a personal diary of the lead scientist. April 12, 1988. Initial tests with the mold on humans have been promising, though at a great cost. Mortality rates are high, but I am confident that we'll create a host strong enough to receive the progenitor virus. Oh, lovely! November 3rd, 1990. I seem to have found a way to reduce mortality rates, but the subjects are changing, disturbingly so. They're becoming more moth-like, though imperfectly the process of HGT appears to be responsible. These hybrids are now half human, half insect, emitting a powerful scent that draws humans towards them. The smell acts like the pheromones of female moths, inducing a heightened arousal state in those nearby. See, I was right. It was sex pollen. Masks are now mandatory for all personnel in the test areas. Subject must remain contained at all costs. This might prove useful to capture new test subjects. August 12, 1992. The townsfolk are whispering about a creature of folklore roaming the forest, which serves our purposes well. A new development. Subjects have begun reproducing. Their larvae feed exclusively on human flesh. I'm uncertain if these offspring will be able to receive the virus, but it's a potential breakthrough. We'll continue observations. March 2nd, 1993. Disappointing results. The offspring are weak, unable to withstand viral integration. It appears that the strength of the parents is critical. Only the strongest hosts can pass on resilience. The weaker offspring have been discarded. I'll require more test subjects. Stronger young adults, preferably those in their physical prime. This town's population will be depleted soon if we're not careful. Leon flips the page, but dozens of entries are missing. Years torn away, leaving only the final one, a frantic scrawled handwriting, as if the scientist had written it in his last desperate moments. February 8, 2003. Umbrella is cut us off. The facility is compromised. Someone set the creatures loose. They're everywhere, and the staff have begun to fall. I managed to escape with my mask intact, but the end is near. There's no redemption for me. But I will seek forgiveness all the same. The church. Perhaps it's the last place I'll find peace. After that, I leave this cursed town for good. The church, huh? He radios Huntington, relaying the situation and the contents of the diary. She promises to notify the higher-ups and arrange for reinforcement. But of course, that'll take time. Leon sighs. Reinforcements always take time. I'll send you the blueprints we have on file for the lab. There's a mention of an underground facility. Looks like you'll need a keycard to get in. Understood. Thanks. Oh yay, a facility. Nothing bad could ever happen here. He follows her directions and finds the door to the underground section, but as she'd warned, it's locked tight. He'll need to get in if he wants to find out what happened to the missing team. Just as he's about to search elsewhere, he hears a faint noise, and then a familiar scent reaches him, sickly sweet, annoying, with a strange floral edge. Didn't the hunter say these things only came out at night? The smell thickens, his head swimming slightly. He snaps his gun up, instincts kicking in as something shuffles closer in the dark. He fires, the gunshot ringing out, but the creature barely slows, advancing with a twisted, insectoid screech. Then, flames light up the room. He turns, catching sight of the hunter, her face obscured by her gas mask. Relief flares up, but it's brief. Which part of bullets don't work didn't you get? Or do you just like wasting ammo? Leon's jaw tightens, annoyance replacing his earlier relief. Of course, she has to make this difficult. The man catches up with you outside, his eyes narrowed, but you can almost see a flicker of relief beneath his guarded expression. You were following me. Next time, if you want a closer look, maybe just ask. What? I came here to protect you because you are reckless and... I will take a closer look though. Because you are reckless and dumb. Your boobs are huge. I wanted to see if you were as competent as you claimed. You give him a once-over, unimpressed. Clearly not. I had everything under control. You scoff, not even trying to hide your frustration. Sure, if you plan to stick around, you need a mask, outsider. I won't always be here to save your ass. Name's Leon. And I figured that out myself. Thanks. Shake your head and turn on your heel, ready to leave him to his fate. I found a door to an underground section of the lab. You pause, glancing back. The creatures probably hide there during the day. That's where their nests are. You'll never be able to kill them all without going down there. And, to get in, we need a keycard. He nods towards the lab entrance, then looks back at you, his gaze steady. And supplies. If we want to blow this place sky high. I'll blow you sky high. Ahem. You raise an eyebrow, skeptical. I'm not thrilled about it. But you're gonna keep hunting them anyway, right? Might as well join forces. You search his face for any signs of deceit, but he just stares back annoyingly calm. You don't trust this guy, but you're willing to take any chance to end this even if it means teaming up. Say please. What? Say please, and I'll help you. Are you serious? I'm the one doing the helping here. You cross your arms and wait, watching him wrestle with himself, his pride visibly taking a hit. Finally, he sighs. You sure do make a guy work for it, huh? I'll make you work for it later. Man, Yiddy, shut up. Fine, please. He starts to smile as he completes the sentence. Please try not to enjoy this too much. Your smile fades into a frown. Oh, trust me, I won't. You pull an old worn map of the town from your jacket. Leon leans in to look at the map, his shoulder brushing against yours. For a moment you catch the scent of him, sweat and smoke from the fight, mixed with something faintly sharp like aftershave. It's oddly distracting, and you step back with a glare. Here's the layout of the town. Most of the gas masks have been destroyed by the townsfolk, but we might find a few at the... You swallow, your throat tightening. Fire station. His eyes flick to you, catching the hesitation in your voice. Why did the townsfolk destroy the masks? Memories flash through your mind of glassy-eyed townsfolk in a crazed frenzy, their minds lost to the pheromones, the endless orgies. The endless what? The way they practically worship the creatures now, like twisted prophets of some new grotesque religion. It's against their beliefs. I had a few spare ones, but they got destroyed yesterday thanks to a noisy outsider. Maybe you should have kept them somewhere safer. This man! Oh, I'm gonna hate the shit out of him. And maybe you should have never come here. A faint smirk tugs at his lips, his voice dripping with sarcasm. Then I'd have missed out on meeting such a charming person as yourself. You glare, hating the way he just won't back down, the way he seems to find humor in every jab. And where can we find explosives? You jab a finger at the spot on the map. Here, the construction site. There should be some left in the crates. With any luck, they're still intact. Leon studies the map with a furrowed brow and then nods. The keycard is probably at the church. I found a note about it back in the lab. He looks up, meeting your gaze with that infuriating calm. You're the local. Where do you want to start? Church? Construction? Let's go construction first. I like how there's a map this time. Oh god, this place looks like hell. The construction site looks the same as you remember. Rusty metal frames, cracked concrete, and piles of debris waiting to collapse at any moment. A maze of danger, even before the creatures started to roam. You've gotten most of the explosives out over the years, but there were always a few crates in places too risky to reach on your own. Maybe now with Leon's help, you can finally grab the rest. As you lead him through the site, you feel the weight of his gaze scanning the area. Always assessing, always alert. He moves like a trained agent, calculating, confident. It makes it all look so easy, like he's strolling through a park instead of a half-collapsed death trap. Then, a voice echoes through the steel beams, faint but unmistakable. You and Leon freeze at the same time. We need to clear all this junk out. She's still using these damn explosives. I don't know where she keeps finding more of them. Shit, you can't see, but you can hear their footsteps crunching through the rubble. Too many of them to handle head-on. Tension coils in your gut as you look at Leon, who's already watching you with that annoyingly calm expression. If we want to search in peace, we have to get rid of them. Or we could just sneak past them. Or we could just get rid of them. You shoot him a withering glare, voice dripping with sarcasm. Yeah, because that's worked so well for me in the past. These people aren't exactly blind, Leon. Getting them to leave is safer. Sneaking past them is smarter. Less chance of getting caught. The air between you crackles. Each of you digging in your heels, neither willing to back down. We are making them leave, Leon. Go talk to them. What, me? Yes. Tell them you saw a woman in the forest with explosives, and you came to warn them. Leon gives you a look somewhere between skeptical and annoyed. What, you think I'm some kind of actor? You already act like you already act like a clown. Oh my god. You already act like a clown half the time. Shouldn't be too hard. He rolls his eyes, muttering something under his breath. But after a reluctant shake of his head, he disappears into the shadows. You stay back, listening to him spin the tale you fed him. His voice is low and steady, just convincing enough. Before long, hurried footsteps echo through the construction site as the townsfolk move off into the direction he pointed them in. Leon reappears, looking surprised. They must really hate you. Ready to admit my plan was the best? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Even a broken clock's right twice a day. Man! You scowl, but he jerks his head in a silent gesture to keep moving. You lead him deeper into the site, moving cautiously over the broken concrete. When you reach a ledge, he steps forward to help you up. You're surprised by the strength in his grip, the steadiness, and just for a second, you're almost impressed. He's strength in his grip? The crates are over here, but don't get too comfortable. The scaffolding is a mess. One wrong move and you'll be buried. Got it. Falling debris. Just another Tuesday. You roll your eyes and start to gather explosives from the crates, putting them into the bag. You move to a different crate and try to pry it open. Let me. I can do it. I know. It'll be quicker this way. You huff as he steps in, taking your spot with that infuriating calm. Wow! Whoa! Damn, God, this man's got comp gutters. But in his eagerness, his shirt snags on a jagged piece of metal jutting out from the crate, tearing down one side to expose a strip of bare skin. You can't help the smirk that tugs at your lips. Nice one, Agent. He looks down at the ruined shirt, unimpressed. Just what I needed. You turn back to the explosives, putting them in the bag, trying to ignore the rustling fabric behind you. Huh? Hang on a second. I'm computing. Jesus. When you glance over, he's shrugging off the shirt entirely, leaving his upper body bare, every line of muscle and scar exposed in the dim light. For a second, you're caught off guard, your eyes lingering on the hard planes of his chest and the subtle movement of his shoulders. I mean, my eyes are lingering on so much more than just that. You force yourself to look away, jaw clenched, but he notices and he's clearly not letting you off the hook. Didn't think you'd get distracted that easily. Yeah, I didn't think you had boobies big enough to look like you could breastfeed either, okay? So shut up. You clench your jaw, willing your pulse to steady. I'm just wondering if you plan on strutting around like that. We're here for supplies, not a show. He chuckles, tossing the torn shirt aside with a smirk. As much as you'd love that, I've got a spare on my bike. You roll your eyes and shove the heavy bag of explosives into his arms. You're not as charming as you think. Right, lead the way. Unless you're waiting for an invitation. He hoists the bag over his shoulder effortlessly, the movements drawing attention to the shift of muscles beneath his skin. You force yourself to turn on your heel, marching ahead without a glance back, though you can practically feel the smirk he's still wearing. By the time they reach her house, the sky has deepened to a dark heavy blue, and the evening chill has settled around them. She stops abruptly by her door, noticing a bloody note tacked to the wood, a smudge of crimson smeared across the words. She reads it with a scoff, crumples it in her hand, and tosses it aside without a second thought. Leon glances down, catching the streaks of ink mixed with dried blood. What does it say? He gives a dry, humorless laugh. One of the town's leaders is warning me off, saying I've killed too many of their precious creatures. I don't like the balance being disrupted. She shrugs, an edge of bitterness in her voice. They tried to stop me before. Nothing new. Aren't they gonna come after you for that? Let them try. Her tone is sharp, edged with a weariness that speaks repetition. If they do, I have other hideouts. She pushes the door open, stepping inside without looking back. Leon follows, and the place hits them like a wall. It's a strange, stifling mix of mothballs and plant oils. The windows sealed tightly, curtains drawn to block out any stray pheromones. As she moves through the small space, her movements are precise, each step purpose-driven. She glides over to a concealed compartment in the floor, pulling it open, retrieving a gallon of fuel, refilling the flamethrower with a practiced hand. She doesn't spare him a glance, acting as if he were just another fixture in a room, an afterthought. Leon watches her, seeing himself reflected in her harsh routines, the methodical way she checks every corner. Every movement screams survival. I like how Leon's just staring at me at the moment. Every movement screams survival. She's wrapped herself in layers of armor, bound tight by invisible barbed wire, keeping the world at arm's length. I mean, yeah, of course I will. I mean, people have been trying to kill me. He's worn the same armor himself, felt the sting of each barb, and he knows how hard it is to let anyone get close. You sit on a worn chair, focusing on tending to your wounds, cleaning and wrapping them with quick, experienced movements. Leon is scanning your space, his eyes drawn to a small cluster of faded photographs on a shelf. His fingers hover over one of them, hesitating. When did this all start? You keep your eyes on your wound, tightening the bandages just a little bit too hard. 3 years ago. And pause. And then you add, almost as if forcing yourself to speak. The creatures have been around for as long as I can remember. They take a few people each month, and no one would care, unless it was family. Just some old folklore, a story to scare kids into staying inside after dark. You take a breath, fighting down the memories clawing their way up. But when the lab shut down, everything changed. They came every night like clockwork, taking anyone outside after dark. Anyone who didn't make it inside was gone by morning. Now, it seems they hunt wherever they need to, and it helps that the townspeople offer them sacrifices every week without fail. The room goes silent, your words hanging in the air like a shadow. You brace yourself in to ask about the people in the photos, about your family, about the ones you lost. But instead his voice is quieter, weighted with something you can't quite place. Why didn't you leave? You freeze, hands still on the bandages. You don't answer right away, letting his questions settle into silence. Then, you resume tending to your wound, though your voice is flat and controlled. I made a promise. I'm not leaving until every last one of those things is dead. No point in the promise if you're not around to see it through. He nods towards the wounds you've earned along the way, and you roll your eyes. Spare me the lecture. Someone had to fight. It just ended up being me. He steps closer, and your body goes rigid, instinctively pulling back. But he holds out a small tin, something herbal and pungent with a mix of earthy scents, lavender, and other sharper herbs. What is this? For injuries. Works wonders. Hesitantly, you take it, your eyes never leaving his. You study him for a beat, finally breaking the silence. Who exactly are you? He looks at you, his expression unreadable. A flicker of something cautious before he answers. Government agent. It makes sense now. The calm in the face of the creatures, the way he handled himself during the day. But that doesn't explain everything. You said you were trained for this kind of situation. How many times have you dealt with things like this? Too many. He sighs, and for a moment his face softens, his guard slipping just enough for you to catch a glimpse of something deeper. I was a rookie cop the first time it happened. Had to learn the hard way. And afterwards, I didn't exactly have a choice. For a brief second you see something roar in his eyes, something that feels uncomfortably close to your own reflection. You didn't have a choice either, not in any of this. Why didn't you leave? Surprise flickers across his face, and for an instant you catch a glimpse of something like pain. It's not that simple. You think you might finally get something real out of him, a piece of truth to hold on to. Then just as quickly his walls snap back into place. And someone has to fight. Just ended up being me. You let out a hollow chuckle but stop yourself before it fully escapes. You can't afford to get comfortable around him. Yes, I can. I mean, I'll get comfortable right now. Even if he doesn't seem like a threat now. You remind yourself that he's just another outsider. For all you know, he's only being nice to get under your skin, to make you lower your guard only to leave, like everyone else has. You shove the tin of herbal medicine back at him, a bit more forceful than necessary. Here, agent, you need it more than me. He looks down at it, raising an eyebrow as he takes it back, his expression somewhere between amused and unimpressed. Your reckless confidence is almost charming. Careful, don't fall in love. Don't worry, not happening. I mean, it sure is happening. You settle onto the couch, lying down with half an eye on the door and the other on Leon, who sits a few feet away with his back to the wall, quietly disassembling and cleaning his guns. Your eyes close, but your mind stays alert, every creak of the old house keeping you tethered to consciousness. It isn't just the threats outside that keep you awake. It's a stranger sharing your space, the person who could throw everything you work for into chaos. Sleep. I'll take first watch. You start to protest, but he cuts you off with a steady look. If we're gonna be a team, you'll need to trust me. You don't respond, but you allow yourself to sink into a light, restless sleep, your senses half tuned to the sounds of the night. The hours stretch on, the room cloaked in heavy silence, and yet with Leon here, for the first time in months, it doesn't feel quite as suffocating. Despite the friction, the guarded words, the walls you both refuse to lower, his presence makes the silence feel just a little less unbearable. You wake up to the sound of soft clattering in the kitchen. Your muscles are stiff, your body still on high alert, but as you blink your eyes open, the scent of something cooking hits your senses. Something you haven't smelled in a long time. You sit up, rubbing the sleep from your eyes. The morning light filters through the cracked window, casting muted shadows across the room. When you finally focus, you see him, Leon, standing by the stove frying something in a pan, his back turned to you. Why didn't you wake me up? Leon glances over his shoulder before turning back to the stove. You look like you needed the rest. I don't need your sympathy. We're gonna be fighting together. You need to be alert. What about you? I'm fine. He plates the food and sets it down on the table, gesturing to it with a casual wave. You eye the meal with narrowed eyes, suspicious but intrigued. Leon shrugs. Dig in. Or don't. More for me. You sit down reluctantly, glancing at the food. Simple, but warm. The smell is actually kinda nice, though you never admit that either. It's better than anything you've had in a while. You pick up a fork, stabbing into the food without much ceremony, but you're already feeling a little less irritated. Where are we going today? You ask, trying to steer the conversation back to something practical. Something that doesn't feel domestic. Leon sits across from you, shrugging as he eats. Your call. Let's head to the fire station. You take a deep breath and walk inside the fire station. Just as empty and abandoned as if it were the last time you came here. But now, standing inside it again, you feel the weight pressing down harder than before. The memories flood back uninvited. The sound of your father's voice, the sight of him in his gear, the pride in his eyes when he talked about the work that he did. Leon's gaze shifts from the building to you. His expression, unreadable. He must sense the tension in your posture, the way your shoulders have gone rigid. The layout's simple. The first floor has a main room, storage, some lockers. Upstairs is risky. There's probably nothing we need up there. You know an awful lot. Not that it's any of your business, but I used to come here a lot. My father worked here. The admission slips out before you can stop it. You immediately regret saying anything, but you don't dare glance back to gauge his reaction. You keep your eyes on the decaying facade, hoping he won't push any further. But of course he does. He hesitates and adds in a softer tone. If this place means something to you, we can take our time. You stop in your tracks, turning to him. He's looking at you with something that almost resembles understanding, and for a moment it's disarming. You feel a flicker of warmth beneath the walls you've built, a sense of being seen that makes you feel exposed in a way you're not used to. You try to hide the vulnerability slipping through your defenses, meeting his gaze with a hard stare. I don't need your sympathy, Leon. He holds up his hands in mock surrender, though there's something else in his eyes, something that feels dangerously close to empathy. It's fine. No sympathy, just saying. It's okay to feel something about all this. His words hang between you, making your heart pound just a bit faster. You ignore it, turning back to the station. Being here already hurts enough. You don't need him digging around in your scars. Let's go. He scans the room, eyes narrowed, assessing. We should still check the second floor. Could be more supplies up there. Leon, look, I don't want to go up there. If you want to go, you can go. The structure's a mess. It'll be better if we stick to the first floor. Make sure we don't miss anything. His eyes narrow, his stance firm, as if he's digging in his heels just to challenge you. And if we miss something important because we played it safe, might be worth the risk, don't you think? His eyes catch yours, a glint of challenge in them. He knows you hate being questioned, especially here. And damn him, you can tell he's doing it on purpose. I mean, we just know that when we do it's gonna go absolutely wild. You bite the inside of your cheek, feeling the familiar irritation flare, but there's something else mixed in now. Something warmer that you can't quite place. I'm following my gut. No, I know this place. If there's anything left, it'll be here on the first floor. Leon lets out a sigh, clearly annoyed. You sure you're not just being stubborn? Help me or don't. Look, it's your call. He watches you for a moment, then shrugs, muttering under his breath as he follows you deeper into the room. Every so often, he glances towards the stairs, clearly itching to go up, but he keeps himself in check. After a long, tense silence, you finally spot something behind a pile of fallen cabinets. Stash of masks tucked away in an old duffel bag. You pull it out, relief washing over you. As you unzip the bag, a small slip of paper falls out. A note, yellowed and creased. You unfold it slowly, your father's familiar, rough handwriting staring back at you. Oh no. In case you ever need it, sweetheart. I hope you're long gone by the time anyone finds this. Live a good life. Somewhere safe. I am going to cry. Why is there angst in my smut? What the hell? Your throat tightens, the words hitting you harder than you expected. You can feel Leon's gaze on you, a subtle warmth in his expression as he notices your reaction. For once, you don't brush it off. Without thinking, you hand him the note. It's from my father. He didn't make it out. Leon reads the note in silence, his eyes softening as he takes in the words. He looks up at you, and there's a quiet understanding in his gaze, an acknowledgement of the pain you carry. I'm sad. I want to cry. I'm sorry. You swallow, surprised by the sincerity in his words. The two of you stand there, the silence between you now filled with something different, something heavy but shared. Yeah, well, it's too late now. You try to keep your voice steady, but there's a crack in it and you know he heard it. Still, he'd be proud of you for staying, fighting back. He hands the note back to you, his fingers brushing against yours, lingering just a second too long. You nod, folding the note carefully and slipping it back into your pocket. Then with a sharp inhale, you turn towards the exit. Let's go. Leon nods, following you out, his expression thoughtful. The tension between you is still there, but it's changed. No longer just animosity, but a quiet, mutual understanding. For the first time, you feel a strange, cautious warmth towards him, a sense that maybe, just maybe, you don't have to do this alone. It does take two to tango in more ways than one. This place looks like hell. The ride back to our place is shrouded in the rich amber glow of the setting sun, casting long shadows across the path. Leon tries to focus on the road, but it's hard to ignore the warmth of her thighs pressed against him, the way her grip tightens every time they hit a bump. Oh yeah, we're on his motorbike. She's distracting, in an infuriating, impossible to ignore way. Leon has a crush on me. As they near her place, he spots a small group gathered on a street corner, their voices low but thick with tension. He taps his shoulders, signaling for him to stop. They both listen, half hidden in the deepening shadows. The body's in the forest. She's done it again, and she needs to be stopped. Leon's gaze shifts, taking in the bruises and scars wrapped around the group's wrists, legs, even their neck, dark marks that look like chains binding them to something unseen. She'll get what she deserves, soon. He glances back at her. She rolls her eyes, acting unfazed by their words, but he doesn't miss the way her hands clench the handles by the bike seat, knuckles turning white. Eventually the group disperses, and Leon nudges the bike forward, guiding it through the empty street as dust descends around them. Silence stretches between them, thick and charged until he breaks it. What's with the scars? She's quiet for a moment, gaze fixed on the road ahead, her voice dropping to a low, almost resigned tone. They tie themselves down while they breathe in the creature's scent. It keeps them from wandering into the woods and getting killed, but the aphrodisiac effect still lingers. They're too far gone, all of them. A shiver runs down his spine, unexpected and unwelcome. He decides to shift the mood. Well, it seems you're pretty popular around here. She huffs, as if shaking off the weight of the conversation. I'm the most popular in town. Get your facts right. He accelerates the bike, jolting it forward as they weave through the empty streets, her arms instinctively wrapping around his waist, pressing her body firmly against his back. Glancing over his shoulder, he smirks. Better hold on, Miss Popular. I'll hold on alright, just tight enough to choke you out. Whoa! I wonder if Leon likes that. She pinches his side hard and he fakes a yelp of pain through a grin, catching the smile in her voice. At least he managed to break through her walls even for just a moment. You sit on the floor, turning your focus to your bandages. Leon managed to lift the mood a little on the ride back, but the heaviness still lingers. Sadness twists in your gut as you remember the faces of the townsfolk you once knew. People who had welcomed you. People whose stores you visited. Whose homes you'd seen with your family. Now they're hollow, driven only by the urge to kill you. The memory hits harder than you'd like. You reach for a spot on your back where an old wound has started to ache, maybe even open up again, but you can't reach it. Cursing softly, you drop your hand, feeling both exhausted and helpless. Leon moves closer, crouching beside you. His face is unreadable as his gaze shifts to your wounds, something unspoken flickering in his gaze. Can I? Yes. You hesitate, that mix of bone-deep exhaustion and something deeper. Something harder to name, unsettling you, but after a beat you nod. His hands move to your back, the press of his fingers steady and careful, the touch is firm and gentle. You feel the warmth of his fingertips, the weight of his focus, and you flinch, unprepared for the unexpected tenderness. A lump rises in your throat, and you realize that it's been years since anyone has touched you like this. With such care, it hits you harder than any old wound could. Did it hurt? No. You keep your gaze fixed ahead, focusing on the sharp earthy smell of the herbs rather than the heat of his hands on your skin. It's impossible to ignore him completely. He asks where the spare gauze is, and you mumble its location, barely aware of the words leaving your mouth. When he finishes, his thumb lingers, grazing over your skin as if he can't quite bring himself to let go. Aww! Your pulse races. An involuntary reaction you're certain he feels under his fingertips. The realization snaps you out of it, and you push yourself up quickly, turning to face him. Thank you. The words die on your lips as you catch sight of him, a half-formed laugh bubbling up instead. Leon tilts his head, confused. What happened? His hair is tangled with cobwebs and bits of dust, probably from when he reached up for the gauze. You try to hold back your amusement, but it's impossible. Nothing. Spider boy? Leon's hand immediately goes to his head, fingers brushing through his hair. Perfect. Just the look I was going for. Dungeon chic. He's such a dork, he's so cute. Your laughter spills over, breaking the silence. There's too much webbing, and he can't seem to clear it. No, idiot. Here, let me do it. He goes still as you reach for him, fingers working carefully through the strands of his hair. The room falls quiet again, the silence thickening around you as you pick out each bit of webbing. His breathing slows down, deepens, and when your fingers brush against his scalp, you feel his chest rise, a slight hitch in his breath. You keep moving, but there's a strange awareness between you, a heightened focus in each movement, each accidental brush of your fingers. For a moment, he lifts his eyes, meeting yours. They're darker, softer, watching you with an intensity that makes your heart skip. You can feel the warmth of him. Smell the faint scent of gunpowder and leather that clings to him, and when his gaze drops to your mouth, he lets out a breath. Small, almost soundless, but heavy. Ed? His shoulders tense, like he's holding himself back, fighting some internal battle. Wait, don't fight it, you can happily lose to it. Your pulse hammers, your fingers pausing in his hair, frozen by the realization that his hand is hovering close to your waist, close enough that you feel its warmth even without the touch. The moment stretches, something electric in the air between you both, your breath mingling in the charged quiet. Wait. He paused, holding his gaze for a second longer, the air thickening between you. Leon shifts, blinking. Look at it blush. He's so adorable. Blinking as if breaking a spell. Then he shakes his head, taking a half step back, his eyes darting everywhere but you. You clear your throat, hoping you can't hear the faint tremor in it. I'll take first watch tonight. You should rest. He watches you, almost like he's about to argue, but something in your expression or maybe in his own exhaustion stops him. He gives a small reluctant nod, then settles down on the couch. You watch as he finally lets his guard drop, even if only for a moment, his shoulders relaxing into the cushions as his eyes fall shut. You glance down at your fingers, the tingle lingering, reminding you of the warmth that's still caught between you both. This is oddly bittersweet. It's actually quite cute. Warmth of sunset fades slowly, casting the room in muted shadows, soft and heavy. You settle onto the floor, flamethrower in hand, half alert to every shift, every quiet sound from where Leon sleeps. Despite the pull of exhaustion, you resist, staying alert, eyes sharp as you keep watch. Just as your mind begins to drift, a soft, choked sound pierces the silence, half muffled yet unmistakable. Is Leon polishing his spear? Oh, he's not okay, he's having a nightmare. Okay. Leon stares restlessly, his face twisted in the dim light, caught in the throes of whatever nightmares haunt him. The faint pain sounds feel like a punch to the chest striking too close. You can't bear it. Without thinking, you cross the room, sitting beside him and placing a hand on his shoulder, gently shaking him awake. Leon, wake up. His eyes fly open, wide and unfocused, his gaze meeting yours with a mix of fear and confusion. His breath is uneven, and for a moment, he doesn't move, doesn't speak, as though he's still trapped somewhere else. Slowly, his gaze sharpens, taking in the familiar surroundings. He rubs a shaky hand over his face, his forehead damp with sweat, and a faint shiver runs through him. You're unused to offering comfort, unfamiliar with the vulnerability of it, but you remember small, distant gestures, how your parents would hold you, ground you when the night grew too dark. It's over now. You're safe. Just focus on my voice. He blinks, his gaze flickering to you as if grounding himself in your presence. The wildness in his eyes fades slightly. Acting on instinct, you lean in closer, a hand lingering on his shoulder. His body shifts towards yours, unconsciously seeking out warmth and steadiness. He presses closer, his hand finding its way to the small of your back, his fingers flexing as if searching for something to hold on to. It's too much. I know. I don't know what scares me more, the things I've seen, or the idea that this might be the rest of my life. Okay, now this is just upsetting. I barely remember what normal even feels like. Without thinking, you pull him in tighter, committing the feel of his warmth and the steady press of his weight against you to memory. I get it. I wish I didn't, but I do. He hums softly, the sound halfway between relief and resignation, his tension melting as he lets himself lean into you. His breathing steadies, and for a moment the two of you are wrapped in a shared silence, the kind that feels less empty and more whole. You start to imagine, just for a second, what a life like this would be, where these quiet, stolen moments aren't so rare, where his touch isn't fleeting. Then, as if sensing the shift, he abruptly pulls back. His gaze drops, and he clears his throat, a barrier rising again between you. Thanks. I'll keep watch now. I won't be able to fall asleep anyway. He rises to his feet, stepping towards the kitchen, but not before you catch a brief flicker in his eyes, a look that mirrors the feeling still lingering in your skin, a strange subtle ache left by his warmth. And that subtle ache is called horniness. Silently, you take his spot by the couch, your mind spinning, replaying the warmth, the closeness, the way he's held on to you for that brief charged moment. You know rest won't come easily tonight. He watches her as she sleeps, her face softened in the quiet peace of it. The comfort between them tonight had been good, too good. Unnervingly so. He shouldn't let himself get so attached. He knows better than anyone how quickly trauma binds people, weaving fragile connections from shared pain. But soon he'll be gone, off to fight some other nightmare in some other cursed place. She can still have a life after this, something steady, something real, something he gave up a long time ago. Or I could come with you and we could do this together. It'll be nice. It's too late for him. He's been carrying this weight for far too long to think he could ever put it down. The idea of a future, of a life beyond the fight, hovers in the back of his mind like a cruel joke, something he refuses to reach for. He won't let himself hope for anything beyond survival. Hope is dangerous. He can't afford it. You wake to the soft light of early morning filtering through the sealed windows, a quiet stillness hanging in the air. For a moment you let yourself lie down there, gathering the fractured pieces of the last night into your mind. His warmth, the way he leaned into your embrace before pulling away. The echo of it lingers, a faint ache that tightens in your chest. But when you finally get up, any trace of that moment is gone. Leon stands near the door, his back to you as he checks his gear. His movements sharp and efficient, a steely resolve masking any vulnerability that he'd shown. He doesn't look at you, doesn't even acknowledge your presence as you rise. The contrast is jarring, the memory of last night's closeness dissolving into the cold distance of this posture. Wait, what happened, Leon? Breakfast is on the table. Heat. We need to move. Hey! You frown, an edge of frustration tugging at you. His tone is clipped. His eyes are hard as he straps on his gear, every action radiating an almost palpable wall of distance. It's as if he's put up another layer of armor overnight, shutting you out entirely. Good morning to you too. He pauses, and for a split second, you catch a flicker of something almost guilty on his face. But it's gone as quickly as it appears, his gaze hardening as he turns back to his gear. How do you feel? Fine. Don't get the wrong idea about yesterday. Well, hey, you don't have to hurt my feelings. His words sting, colder than you expected. You glare, refusing to let him see how much they affected you. Same. Didn't mean anything. You're still insufferable. Good. Good. You square your shoulders, swallowing down your own frustration as you gather your things, each movement pointed and deliberate. After last night, this cold detachment feels like a slap. It does! A calculated retreat back into distance. Why is he so mean to me now? This sucks. One more stop, and then you're nearly free of this hellhole and everyone in it, right? He glances at you, his jaw tightening as if holding back a response. For a second, you wonder if he'll soften, but his face stays set, a mask of indifference. Right. It's a dismissal, plain and simple. You force yourself to look unfazed as you gulp down the breakfast he prepared, refusing to let him see how much a sudden shift has gotten under your skin. The silence between you is thick and heavy, each of you moving with determination that borders on anger. Man, this sucks. You spend the day lugging lab equipment back and forth to your hideout near the lab, loading up on fuel and explosives, taking turns on Leon's bike. The work is grueling, made worse by the tense silence that lingers between you. You barely speak, and when you do it's clipped and cold, a silent truce at best. By the time you reach the church, the sun is dipping, low, casting the place in a shadow crimson glow. Everything feels on edge, and you can't tell if it's him or the damn mission. You test the door, but it's locked tight, so you and Leon find an open window, pushing aside scattered debris as you climb inside. Oh wow, this background looks really good. The smell hits you immediately. Thick decay, clinging to the air like a warning. Your stomach twists. The interior is in disarray. Overturned pews, shattered glass littering the floor, dried bloodstains smeared on the walls. Near the altar, bones and tattered clothing line a haphazard pile, some looking fresher than others. A chill runs down your spine. Have the townsfolk been using this place for sacrifices? Moving cautiously, you scan through the keycard until Leon gestures up to the wooden balcony, pointing to a white lab coat hanging loosely over the railing. A skeleton slumps over it, twisted and limp. I'll go get it. No, I will. His gaze snaps to you, cold and challenging. Leon, you don't have to be a dick. If you're so eager to get yourself killed, go find some other way to do it. You clench your fists, stepping up to him. Close enough, you see the hard lines of his jaw. This man grates on you, always assuming he knows best. I mean, he rarely does. The frustration, the tension, it's coiled so tight in your chest you can barely think straight. If I wanted your opinion, I'd ask for it. Don't pretend you give a damn about me. The venom in your voice cuts through the air, and for a second, you see something flicker in his eyes, something dark like frustration, but edged with something hotter. Does Leon get turned on by angry s***? He opens his mouth to reply. But before he can, a low, wet, scraping sound echoes through the church, dragging along the floor. The sun dips lower, casting an ominous red glow over the scene. Creatures inside the church. Leon doesn't hesitate. He grabs your arm and pulls you towards a shadowed corner where a small confession booth stands. You resist, glancing back at the mask that fell to the ground as he tugged you forward. His grip tightens, dragging you to the cramped space before you can think twice. You barely make it inside, before the heavy footsteps close in, filling the silence with a sickening shuffle. The pheromones hit you first, heady, overpowering scent, sugary and dark, coating your senses like a blanket you can't escape. Your skin prickles with heat, a flush creeping up your cheeks and your pulse quickening. You bite your lip, struggling to resist the hazy tingling tensions coursing through you. Leon's jaw tightens, his eyes narrowing as he fights the same effect. His breaths are shallow, Each exhale brushing warm against your neck. His hands find yours and the contact grounding and electric all at once. With trembling fingers, you rip open a mothball package, thrusting it close to both your noses. It helps, but not enough. The creatures slink past outside, their scent hanging in the air, winding its way into every inch of you, tightening the tension between you and Leon. You cling to his arm, feeling the tautness of his muscles as he restrains himself. His body is coiled, almost as if he's battling the urge to open the door and pursue them. Yet his hand remains firm on yours, holding you in place, anchoring you to the moment. As the creatures finally shuffle away, a tense silence fills the booth. Your hand grips the door handle, ready to chase after them, but Leon's strong grip closes over yours, holding it shut. His strength catches you off guard, and you whirl to face him, anger flaring. Leon, let go! You're not going after them. Time to argue. The words ignite something fierce inside you, and without a second thought, you push him hard, pinning him back against the wall. Hey, yo! Wow! His jaw clenches, his eyes flashing with surprise and something else darker, more open. He's still as you hold him there, waiting. His gaze steady, but filled with a challenge, almost daring you. Who the hell do you think you are? You think you can just walk in here and make everything right? You've only just made things worse since you showed up here. I can't wait for you to leave so I can forget all of this. Forget that you were even here. The words hit him hard. You can see the anger flash across his face, mixed with something hurt. I'm sorry, Leon. But instead of pushing back, he looks at you, his voice thick with frustration. Trust me. Can't wait to forget about you too, you reckless stubborn. You cut him off, slamming him back against the wall, your lips meeting his in a desperate, furious clash. There's no thought, no caution, just raw need spilling over, the culmination of days of pent-up frustration. His hands find your waist, his fingers digging in possessively as he pulls you closer. Are we just gonna do it while the monsters are outside? Every movement is charged, the intensity crackling between you both. It's not soft, not gentle. There's only anger and desire tangled up in a way that neither of you can control. See, I knew that we were gonna hate. A low, almost pleading sound escapes him. After a moment, he pulls back, his expression hardening as he casts his gaze towards the door. A hint of something conflicted flickering in his eyes before it fades. I don't know what happened. You scoff softly, the lingering ache of him still making it hard to ignore the pull you still feel. You roll your eyes at his attempt to brush it off. It was just the pheromones, Leon. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I have a crush on you. Right. Just the pheromones. The tension simmers between you, and though part of you once more, your mind is clear enough to recognize the need to leave. Now, if the pheromones' effects had been any stronger, you're not sure either of you would have stopped in that cramped booth. When you mount his bike, Leon reaches back for your hands, guiding them around his waist. His fingers linger a heartbeat longer than necessary, that final touch stirring the heat that hasn't quite left your body. You rest your cheek against his back, letting the warmth of him soak into you, a small reluctant smile hidden from his view. You both make it back to the house, your bodies worn yet still buzzing with the lingering feeling of excitement. You tell yourself to forget it, to push the memory aside, but it clings to you, refusing to fade. Two of you stand in the quiet, small distance between you, but the tension is thick, like an unspoken pull drawing you back towards each other. Your eyes meet briefly before the both of you look away, awkward and uncertain. The silence presses down, broken only by the sound of your breaths. You shift, trying to focus, but your mind keeps slipping back to him, hyper aware of his presence, his closeness, and the memory of his touch still vivid in your mind. So, who gets first watch? Neither of you are looking at each other, and as you step forward, you end up bumping into him, his hands moving instinctively to steady you, his grip firm and grounding. You glance up, your eyes flickering down to his lips, your body reacting before your mind has a chance to catch up. We can decide later. The tension in his voice mirrors your own, a hint of something more than just exhaustion or proximity. Your gaze settles on his mouth and he hesitates only for a moment before leaning in, closing the space between you. Hey yo! I thought it was just the pheromones, Leon. Do you care to explain? You care to tell me what's going on? I'm a little too excited about all this. Your lips meet in a kiss that's hesitant at first, each of you testing the waters as they're unsure if it's okay to give in, but it deepens quickly, growing more urgent, a shared hunger that flares up from the quiet. Leon pulls back, his eyes scanning the room, a brief look of focus returning to his expression. We need to focus. Continue. I'm not pulling back. You don't pull back, and neither does he. The kiss deepens, your breaths mingling as the urgency builds, the tension stretching until it's almost unbearable. You press closer, feeling the heat radiate between you, but a faint noise breaks through the haze, a quiet, shuffling sound from one of the back rooms. Leon freezes, his hand turning towards the noise, but it's too late. Shadows spill into the room, Manshook moving fast and silent. Before either of you can react, rough hands grab you from behind, dragging you backward as you struggle, your limbs caught in their grip. Leon fights back, a flash of anger in his eyes, but he's overpowered too, forced to kneel beside you. That's not good. When you regain consciousness, you're in a cage, cold iron pressing against your back. Your gaze darts around the dimly lit clearing, only to see Leon lying across from you stirring, his expression clouded and disoriented. A figure steps forward, the leader of the townsfolk, his eyes glinting with dark intent as he studies you both. I tried to reason with you, but you won't listen. So now you'll see it. Feel it. You push against the bars of the cage. Let us out! Soon, you'll be one of us. He disappears in the shadows, just as a sickly sweet scent fills the air, thick and cloying. It seeps into your lungs, spreading through your body with a heating warmth, fogging your thoughts and clouding your senses. Dread pulls in your stomach. You push against the bars again, desperation flooding you, but they hold fast. The unforgiving metal biting into your skin. Heat floods your veins. A flush crawling up your neck as every inch of you feels electrified, hypersensitive. You push against the bars, instinctively trying to get closer to the source of the scent, but the cage holds firm. Frustration and desire mix, intensifying with every breath as the scent works its way through you, impossible to resist. Your gaze falls on Leon, and you see he's affected too. His body tense and shivering as he grips the bars, his chest heaving. His gaze meets yours, his eyes dark and filled with the same aching need. He fights it. Jaw clenched, but you can see it's only a matter of time before the pheromones overwhelm him completely. The primal urge to move, to feel is consuming. And when the need to follow the creatures finally subsides, a different heat takes its place, pulsing through you, desperate for release. Your body is too hot, every nerve straining, and you turn to Leon, feeling the pull of him. The closeness between you, the only relief from the unbearable ache. You reach out, your hand finding his, and he shudders under your touch, his grip tightening, as if holding onto you is the only thing keeping him grounded. I can't take it anymore. I need you. Whoa! In front of everybody? In front of everyone, Leon? You close the distance between you, succumbing to the pull your mind's hazy. In that moment, nothing else matters. Not the cage, not the watching eyes, not the twisted situation you find yourselves in. There's only you and him, lost in the heat that won't fade. The end. I thought that was supposed to be the good ending. What the hell? No! But we are trying this again. Make them leave. Go talk to them. What? Me? Yes. Tell me you saw a woman in the forest with explosives and you came to warn them. Alright, so this is all the same. Alright, cool. There we go. The silence between you thickens, uncomfortable and charged, as you lead him deeper into the construction site, carefully stepping over the broken concrete. When you reach a ledge, he steps forward, extending a hand to help you up. You ignore it, finding your own way up and catch a glimpse of his jaw tightening as you pull yourself over the edge. The crates are over there. But don't get too comfortable, the scaffolding's a mess. One wrong move and you'll be buried. Be careful. You give him a sharp look, searching his face. Hot and cold, impossible to understand. One moment he's distant, the next he's acting like he cares. It only makes things more confusing. You start to shake your hand as you make your way to the crates and start to gather explosives from the crates, putting them in the bag. You move to a different crate and try and pry it open. Let me. I can do it. I know. I just don't want you to get hurt. You give him a skeptical look, arching an eyebrow. What's your deal? Either you care about me and my well-being, or you don't. Make up your mind. He hesitates, his gaze shifting slightly, and for a moment he looks guilty. It's complicated. Of course it is. With a sigh, you step aside, letting him take over. But in his eagerness, his shirt snags on a jagged piece of metal jutting out from the crate, tearing out one side to expose a strip of bare skin. You cut up the smirk that tugs at your lips. Nice one, agent. He looks down at the ruined shirt, unimpressed. Just what I needed. You turn back to the explosives, putting them in the bag, trying to ignore the rustling fabric behind you. But when you glance over, he's shrugging off the shirt entirely, leaving his upper body bare, every line of muscle and scar exposed in the dim light. For a second, you're caught off guard, your eyes lingering on the hard planes of his chest and the subtle movement of his shoulders. You force yourself to look away, jaw clenched, but he notices he's clearly not letting you off the hook. Didn't think you'd get distracted that easily. You clench your jaw, willing your pulse to steady. I'm just wondering if you plan on strutting around like that. We're here for supplies, not a show. He chuckles, tossing the torn shirt aside with a smirk. Not a problem. I've got a spare on my bike. Unless you want me to stay like this. Without missing a beat, you raise an eyebrow, leaning in just enough to make him hesitate. And what if I do? He swallows, his playful facade slipping as you close the space between you in purposeful strides. Your gaze holding his with a silent, unspoken challenge. Look at him blush. What would you do, Leon? Obey? Whoa! His eyes widen slightly, his back pressing against the crate. For a split second, surprise flickers across his face, followed by a flash of determination. He pulls you close. His lips crash against yours, the kiss fierce and desperate, everything he's been holding back spilling over in one intense moment. But then, a faint noise sounds from somewhere. A soft scuffling, barely perceptible but enough to cut through the haze. Silently, he grabs a bag of supplies, his hands unsteady, his gaze shifting away from you with a kind of reverence as though he's trying to regain his composure. And tension between you lingers as you walk back to the bike. His steps are slower than usual, as if the weight of what just happened is pressing down on him. When you reach the bike, you climb on behind him, wrapping your arms around his waist without a second thought. He stiffens, his muscles going taut beneath your touch, and a slight flush creeps up his neck. You're close enough to sense every shift of his body, the tension he's still holding onto. The engine rolls to life, and as he drives off, you lean forward, resting your cheek against his back, feeling the steady beat of his heart. A small secretive smile plays on your lips, knowing full well that the memory of your touch of that kiss is something he won't be able to shake off that easily. Jeez. Man, I don't know if I prefer, like, you know, dominant Leon or like subby Leon, but they're both really good. Maybe both. I do like both. You both make it back to the house. Your body's worn yet buzzing with the lingering high of excitement. You tell yourself to forget it, to push the memory aside, but it clings to you, refusing to fade. The two of you stand in the quiet. A small distance between you, but the tension is thick, like an unspoken pull drawing you back towards each other. Your eyes meet briefly. Before both of you look away, awkward and uncertain, the silence presses down, broken only by the sound of your breaths. So, who gets first watch? Neither of you are looking at each other. And as you step forward, you end up bumping into him, his hands moving instinctively to steady you, his grip firm and grounding. We can decide later. Your lips meet in a kiss that's hesitant at first, each of you testing the waters as though unsure if it's okay to give in. Leon pulls back, his eyes scanning the room, a brief look of focus returning to his expression. We need to focus. Alright, so instead of continuing this time, we have to pull back. You pull back, sensing something in his tone, a subtle warning. He's picking up on something and his instincts are rarely wrong. Taking a deep breath, you glance around, steadying yourself as your pulse slows. Right, let's check everything first. The two of you move quietly through the house. The chill of unease spreads through you when you spot it. The window, slightly ajar, ain't sign of tampering. A surge of panic hits, and Leon quickly motions for you to be silent, his gaze sharp and focused. You barely have time to grab a few essentials before he gestures towards the door, urgency clear in his eyes. As you reach the bike, Leon climbs on, holding steady as you settle behind him. Just then, shadows emerge from your house, townsfolk creeping towards you with barely a sound. You barely duck in time as one of them takes aim, bullets grazing the air as Leon speeds off, guiding you both out of danger. I can't believe we got another bad ending before because it couldn't contain my spiciness. You ride silently into the forest, the night stretching on around you as you pull into the cover of an old campsite. A secluded hideout you kept hidden for emergencies. Your adrenaline fades, leaving you shivering, and Leon pulls you close, wrapping you in a protective warmth. Thank you for being there. Leon shakes his head slightly, a small, almost self-deprecating smile tugging at his lips. I didn't realize it's nice, having someone watch your back. He glances at you, his expression softening, and for a moment something shifts in the space between you, something unspoken that settles warm and heavy in your chest. Nice and terrifying. You nod, sensing a quiet kinship in him, even with so little time together. It feels like your souls are crafted from the same battered material, scarred but unbreakable, forged by the same fire. But I think I might want to try dealing with that feeling. Aww, me too. There's a quiet vulnerability in his voice that makes you pause, and you find yourself nodding again, more slowly. Me too. He holds your gaze, the silence stretching out, carrying a weight you're both aware of but neither of you is ready to name. Gradually, the conversation shifts back to practicalities, and the two of you settle down, discussing the final plan in low voices as the night stretches on. But as dawn approaches, that sense of purpose gives way to something softer, something that feels like peace. The quiet acknowledgement of what you're facing and the strange comfort you found in one another, literally and figuratively. It's an unspoken promise, lingering between you as the first light begins to filter in. The day has finally come. You spent what feels like a lifetime preparing for this, scavenging supplies, gathering weapons, and planning every possible step. On the way here, you even ran into a strange merchant as if he'd appeared out of thin air. He was selling Molotov cocktails and incendiary grenades. You still have no idea where he came from or where he disappeared to afterwards. I know that guy! Now with everything you've acquired stashed in worn duffel bags, you approach the lab. Leon, walking beside you in a tense silence. Air feels charged, kind of like a stillness that presses down on you, like the world itself knows that something is about to end. Today is the final day. One way or another, it'll all be over. You sure about this? Last chance to turn back. You nod, tightening your grip on your pendant. There's no need to say it. You're beyond turning back now. You spent too long fighting to end this nightmare. At last, you fulfill your promise. Here goes nothing. Well, you know, everything. With a swift practice motion, Leon uses the keycard on the rusted door. It swings open with a groan, and you step into the darkness of the lab, the stale air thick with decay and memories. Leon murmurs into his radio requesting directions. His voice is low and controlled, and together, you step into the darkness of the lab, your senses on high alert. The tunnels are dimly lit, shadows pooling in every corner, and it isn't long before the creatures start to emerge, drawn by the scent of the living. You and Leon fall into sync immediately, wielding fire and steel like extensions of yourselves. The flamethrower roars to life, bathing the corridors in the flickering orange as you burn through the waves of creatures that come at you one after another. Their shrieks fill the narrow space, echoing off the walls, but you don't hesitate. You push forward side by side, determined to see this through. In one of the tunnels, Leon stumbles upon the remains of the team he'd been searching for. They didn't make it. A grim realization hardens his expression, and something fierce flickers in his eyes. With renewed fury, he presses forward, his strikes becoming sharper, his movements more aggressive, as if each creature he cuts down might somehow make up for their loss. Finally, you reach the nest. It's a massive cavern, the walls crawling with sticky, pale forms of the creatures, their lava pulsing in clusters like grotesque flowers. Ew! The sight makes your skin crawl, but you steel yourself knowing this is the heart of it all. This is what needs to be destroyed. Well, that's disgusting. Almost makes me miss the zombies. Zombies? Zombies. And before you ask, no, you don't want details. Moving in perfect sync, you and Leon communicate silently, exchanging looks and gestures as you position the explosives around the nest with practiced efficiency. It's as though you've been partners for years, each moving seamlessly coordinated, guided by a quiet understanding. Leon pauses, glancing at you with a faint, almost wistful smile. Guess this is it, huh? One last goodbye to this hellhole. Remind me to leave a bad Yelp review. You chuckle, steeling yourself as he takes aim at the first explosive. His finger tightens the trigger, and with a single shot, he ignites the charge. The explosion tears through the nest. Wait, what about us? The fire and debris raining down as the walls shake, the entire structure beginning to collapse. Run! He grabs your hand, and together you sprint through the tunnels, dodging falling beams and crumbling walls. The roar of the explosion echoes behind you, the ground trembling beneath your feet. Adrenaline surges through you, pushing you forwards, step by desperate step. You make it outside just as the building collapses entirely, the cloud of dust and ash billowing into the sky. For a moment, relief overwhelms you and you sink to the ground, catching your breath, but it's short-lived. Emerging from the shadows, the townsfolk gather, their faces twisted with fury. What did you do? Oh, you know, just some light redecorating. Thought the place could use more airflow. Leon grabs your hand again and you both take off, sprinting towards his bike at the edge of the forest. He starts it up and you cling to him as it accelerates, tearing down the narrow road leading out of town. But the townsfolk are already blocking the way, their figures a wall of resistance, determined to stop you from leaving. Suddenly, the roar of engines cuts through the tension. Black cars appear on the road ahead, their sleek forms glinting in the fading light as they screech to a halt. Yay, backup has arrived! Too late! Way too late! Reinforcements spill out, armed agents and soldiers surrounding you both. Oh, look at that. Fashionably late as usual. Nice of them to show up after we did all the hard work. And townsfolk falter, their expression shifting to fear as they realize they're outmatched, and within moments they scatter, disappearing into the alleys and shadows. A shaky sigh escapes you, the tension in your body finally loosening as safety settles over you. Tangible and real, you get off the bike and look over at Leon, equally exhausted but relieved, the weight of the mission's end pressing down on both of you. The agents will take care of everything now. It's over. You reach for the pendant around your neck, kissing it gently, a silent tribute to the journey that brought you here. You made it. You survived. As the adrenaline fades, a new kind of fear begins to creep in. A fear of the unknown, of what lies beyond this moment. What now? The words linger in the air, uncertain. The life you once knew feels like a distant memory, and an ache builds in your chest as you realize there's nothing left to return to. Leon's gaze softens, and he extends his hand towards you, offering a gentle, reassuring smile. Well, I hear boring is all the rage these days. Want to give it a try? Yes? With you? Anything. I can show you what it means to be normal again. You raise an eyebrow, a faint smile tugging at your lips, as if you know what that means. He laughs, a warm, genuine sound that dispels the last of the tension from his face. Maybe I don't, but we can figure it out together. For a moment you hesitate, your eyes meeting his, seeing something in his gaze you hadn't noticed before. A promise, a shared understanding of what you both endured, and what might lie ahead. Slowly you reach out, taking his hand, feeling the warmth of his grip steadying you, grounding you in his uncertain future. Together you step forward, towards whatever the future holds. Now you have a new mission, one shaped by hope, resilience, and the possibility of something more. Oh yay, we got the good ending! I'm so happy. Hooray! Alright, well, there's still, I think, one more ending left for me to get. Alright, so here's the last spicy scene that we missed, and also this is what happens when you go to the fire department last. You get a special scene when you find your father's note, and you get to do it with Leon. Follow your gut. As you unzip the bag, a piece of paper falls out, worn and creased. You freeze as you pick it up, recognizing the familiar handwriting immediately. It's from your father. In case you ever need it, sweetheart. I hope you're long gone by the time anyone finds this. Live a good life somewhere safe. The words hit like a punch to the gut. The weight of the past presses down on you, so heavy it almost takes your breath away. You swallow hard, feeling a lump form in your throat, everything crashing down at once. Memories, the stress, and the presence of Leon beside you, all stirring emotions you thought you'd buried. Your hands tremble, the dam breaking as a shuddering breath escapes, and then, despite all your efforts, the tears spill over. Leon's gaze snaps to you, his expression shifting as he realizes what's happening. He hesitates, but then he steps closer, his voice softer and uncertain. You shake your head, unable to form words. Instead, you reach into your pocket, pulling out the memento from your father. Leon's eyes widen as he takes it in, understanding flooding his expression. He reaches out, his hand brushing your shoulder, grounding you, and that touch, gentle and understanding, undoes you completely. The vulnerability you've been trying to hide, the pain, the frustration all pours out. You meet his gaze raw and exposed, and something shifts in his eyes, a softness, a protectiveness that you've never seen there before. Slowly he pulls you into his arms, his embrace steady and warm as you tremble against him. I failed him. You didn't. How do you know? He says nothing at first, only trails his hand gently down your back, his touch soothing, easing away the ache bit by bit. You've been fighting for so long to protect others from those things, and you're still here, still standing. That's what I need to tell myself whenever I think of my parents. That they be proud of me, because I'm still here, still trying to help in any way I can, despite everything. The tears begin to slow, his words settling over you like a balm. You pull back just enough to look at him, your gaze searching. Why are you saying this? I thought you wanted to keep your distance. That last night didn't mean anything to you. His face is close now. So close that you can see the flicker of something vulnerable in his eyes. No, that was the problem. It meant everything. That's so cute. A beat passes, the air between you charged, heavy with words left unsaid, and slowly you both lean in. His lips find yours in a kiss that starts gentle, hesitant. As you pull apart, there's a vulnerability in the air, an unspoken promise hanging between you. This doesn't change anything. Leon nods, but there's something in his eyes that tells you he knows better. Of course. As you move through the station, he offers his hand to help you over a piece of broken furniture, and when you take it, he doesn't let go right away. Some grazes over your fingers, and then in a voice soft and filled with an unexpected warmth he speaks. He'd be proud of you. For staying. For fighting. The words cut through, tender and sincere, and your voice comes out in a whisper. Yeah, you're right. There are no more words as you both exit the station, but the warmth of his hand lingers against yours. The silent understanding between you enough for now. Right. I think the only options we are missing now is when we pick the wrong option at all the locations. Okay, so if we pick all the opposite options from the locations that we're at, so the church, the fire department, and the construction site, we get this ending instead when we're in the final moment. Your ego flares, your resentment boiling over. This was supposed to be your mission, your fight. You can't let him call the shots, not here, not now. Your argument escalates. The tension snapping as your voices rise, filling the cabin. But you don't notice the subtle movements in the shadows, the way the creatures are watching, listening, drawn to the discord between you. Suddenly they surge forward, exploiting the rift between you. One grabs Leon, pulling away as he shouts your name. His voice panicked. Another tackles you, sinking claws into your shoulders as you struggle, but it's too late. You're separated, each of you fighting on your own, overwhelmed. In the end, your last thought is regret, wishing you had found a way to work together. But that chance is gone now, swallowed by darkness. Yay, I died! Damn it. And that was Requiem's Echo, the Leon Kennedy dating sim. I hope you guys liked this as much as I did. I loved how spicy it was. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy I got to play this. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. All of my reactions to the not safe for work scenes will be available on my Patreon, completely uncensored for you guys to watch. So I hope you guys enjoy that. But I appreciate you guys being here. I will see you guys in the next video, and until next time, take care.